YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek Goodness, my little channel on the web for all things geeky and cool. And this video, guys, is another Funko review, a rather large Funko review. We're going to be looking at the Target exclusive Hulk from the Thor Ragnarok movie 10-inch scale Pop 241. Now this just dropped today from what I've heard in the South Florida area, which is of course December 7th from the recording of this video. And he was really difficult to track down. I have some information here what I used to actually track this guy down. You may want to try this for yourself in your area. Definitely want to go to a website called brickseek.com. It's mainly a Lego based site, but it has inventory checking so you can actually see what's in stock for those locations that are closest to you. I'll definitely put in the DCPI code in this video as well as the UPC code as in this video, as well as the description box below, so you can use that information to try to track this guy down. Now when I actually looked for this on the actual shelf at that particular Target that actually said it was in quantity, it was limited stock. I'm like, well, what the hell does limited stock mean? I actually looked around, I couldn't find it. I actually had to speak to an employee. It was in the actual back of the warehouse of their back stock basically. It came in one box. They only had one box in stock and it was packed 3 to the case. I looked through all the items. One of the items had the hammer that you see Hulk holding right here. It actually fell out, so I didn't want to get that one, and there were no chases, at least in that 3 box that I saw. Does it have chases? I don't believe it does. I'd actually just stick with this particular item. The normal one is fine by me. I'll talk more about that in the breakdown. Speaking of the breakdown segment, we're going to go into a full breakdown of this item. We're going to look at the packaging as a whole. We're going to take it out of the packaging. We're going to look at the paint, any articulation the actual pop may have, and conclude in the final thoughts for you, the viewer. Should you actually pick up the 10-inch Hulk from Thor Ragnarok? Stay tuned, guys. We're heading to breakdown. Alright guys, we're in our breakdown segment looking at the 10-inch Thor Ragnarok Hulk Pop number 241. And the very first thing we always do is look at the packaging. This packaging is big. It is a big pop. Again, if we go run down the actual packaging, we have the number here, 241 right there. Thor Ragnarok. I think it's from normal pops listed here. On the bottom of the actual packaging here, you have Hulk. You have a picture of him. And of course, we have the important Target sticker, which you can only get this at Target, or probably online, which would come from, of course, Target, but I would try to get it at the actual Target location if you can find it using BrickSeek. And if we go on this side, we have a side shot of Hulk. We have a picture right down here at the bottom. Over here on this side, we have Hulk listed, number 241, picture of his face. On the very top, we have another shot of him. If we spin it around the back, it looks very similar to the original 3 3/4 inch size back packaging. All the figures that are available in that wave when it was originally released, and a big picture of Hulk here. So let's actually take this guy out of packaging and continue the breakdown. Okay, we have the Hulk 10-inch pop out of packaging. So let's actually take a look at what this guy looks like. He's really big and kind of heavy for his weight. He is sort of hollow, but that is to be understood because this thing is very big. Now, just for full disclosure, this is the same identical Ragnarok Hulk pop as the standard 3.5-inch pop that you normally see. They just scaled this up much taller. Just so everyone knows, it's identical sculpt, identical design. Just again, full disclosure. So if we look at it, the face sculpt is dead on the money. Mean looking Hulk with this big old mohawk that's on his helmet that he wore in the actual arena when he fought Thor in the Ragnarok movie. I like the paint accents on it. He looks good. He is holding his big old hammer here. Now, I did see another, when I got this actually in hand, they actually had 2 other ones at my Target location, as I said at the beginning of the video, but one of them had the actual hammer popped out of his hand. I don't think this is to be removed. I think it was broken, so I skipped out of that one. So make sure you look at the actual Hulks before you purchase them. Your mileage may vary. As far as the paint goes, it looks pretty clean. No issues with the paint itself. Again, bobblehead, we can't help that because it is a Marvel licensed item. They have to do bobblehead because of licensing agreements. It's not jacked up, but I can't really turn the head. I mean, I can turn it a little bit, but I don't want to mess up the spring as you see me doing here. I think it looks fine the way it is. Color, he is green with this kind of gunmetal helmet, red mohawk. He's got some purple trim wristbands you can see here. Sort of this little blue shoulder pauldron right there. He is wearing sandals like the standard traditional sized Hulk. But one thing I want to kind of bring to your attention is scale. I want you to see kind of how big this guy really is. I'm going to bring in some guests here. I'm going to bring in the New York Comic Con Dragonzord, which is a 6-inch pop, and my little cyborg Green Lantern, because you guys know I'm a big Green Lantern fan. And I want you to see the sheer scale difference that we're looking at. Standard size pop, no base, 6-inch scale pop, 10-inch pop. So I want you to see this transition in size. Next, we'll talk about value a little bit here. A normal, let's say, 3.5 inch pop, 3.75 inch pop, normally $10, $12 normally. A normal, let's say, 6-inch pop ranges the gambit. I've seen it go anywhere from $15 to $25. This was a New York Comic Con exclusive, so I can see why it was $30 for this guy here. It's worth more money now, but normally it was about, I would say, between 25 and 30 bucks for your normal 6-inch. It could vary depending on the type of pop it is. Next, let's look at the Hulk. The Hulk right now in normal Target stores goes for about $30. Now, if you want to pay more on the secondary market, you can. Let's say on eBay, I've seen this go from $40 to $90 on eBay as far as recording of this video goes. So this is rather expensive. Also, 10-inch pops you normally don't see. They're very, very rare in the actual wild, and you cannot really get your hands on them because they don't make a huge amount of them. The only one I really know off the top of my head, I know they made a Batman one. I don't know if they made any other characters. They may have. Let me know in the comment section of the video. But I know they made at least the Batman, and that's extremely expensive. I think it goes for about $150 to $200 now on the last checking of Pop Price Guide. It's rather expensive. It is not cheap. This will retain value. If you're looking to get something that will actually retain value in your collection, this may be the way to go and a good investment to make, in my honest opinion. So with that being said, let's go to final thoughts and wrap up this video. Alright guys, we're in our final thoughts segment looking at the Thor Ragnarok Hulk 10-inch scale pop. And I think this is definitely worth the money. For $30 US, you're getting a really cool pop. Something you normally don't see on the store shelves. You normally don't see a 10-inch scale pop. They usually don't come in this size format. I've seen a few of them in the past. I know they had a Batman one, which I mentioned in the breakdown segment. But these are really hard to come by, short quantity. Definitely get these right now if you possibly can. These are just going to go up in value. I said also in the breakdown, when I looked on eBay, these things were selling between $40 and $90 right now. So at least you're looking at basically close to doubling your money if you went to just straight on eBay. I would hold off on selling it. I think this looks really, really good. Definitely, it's a piece that talks about in the collection. When you have it on your shelf, definitely it's going to get eyes to the actual item on your shelf if that's your intent. It does have a pretty big footprint. As I mentioned, this thing is pretty big. This is 10 inches. And I want to put this out here for you, as again mentioned in the breakdown, is the comparison in height. Standard size pop, in this case the Cyborg Green Lantern, the Dragon Zord from New York Comic Con, which is a 6-inch pop, and this 10-inch Hulk. So you can definitely see the transition in height, which is what I was going for, and you can see just because it goes bigger doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be more expensive. Normally your $10 to $12 pop. The Dragon Zord, I believe, was close to $30 because it was a New York Comic Con pop. This is $30 by itself, and it's well worth the money. Definitely, if you could pick up the Thor Ragnarok Hulk, just because it's so unique and different, I highly recommend getting this guy, especially in short quantities, especially during the holiday seasons. I hope you liked this video review of the 10-inch Thor Ragnarok Hulk. Click that like button, always click subscribe, click that little icon when you subscribe to the channel so you get notified of all my updates. And also, we're talking about over here all the time, my P.O. Box. If you want to send anything out for reviews or Q&A, I'd love to get it. And last but not least, you can click Windows to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. I'll see you next video, and bye-bye.